Welcome back to pregame.tv. It's Sunday baseball action. We're going to take a look at Baltimore at Minnesota. We've got Chin versus Diamond. Ken, we got two pitchers going in opposite directions, I think, here.
Yeah, Diamond in the rough. I mean, he's been solid.
He's been a gem. He's been a gem.
He really has. And both lefties. And Scott Diamond is a guy that when he is focused, he can keep Minnesota in games. Doesn't matter against which team he's going against. His last two games, he was a plus 201 and a plus 160. Got the money in both.
He did. And, I look at this Chin, and he's been getting hit hard. Now, I know if you look at the runs, it's not been real bad, but he's only gone 10 1/3 innings in his last two starts. And when I look at that, 20 guys reached base on him in those 10 innings. You put two guys on base an inning, that's not good. You got a whip like that. He does this to Minnesota, the way they're hitting the ball right now. Minnesota has scored 5 or more runs in 4 straight games heading into Friday. We're taping on Friday night, so we don't know what they're doing on Friday night. But this team's come alive. Now, it helps that they just finished a series in Fenway. You can score some runs there.
You can, there's no doubt. But, yeah, you still have to get it done. And against a pretty good pitching staff and what was a first-place team by themselves, Boston Red Sox. And, of course, the Red Sox now falling into a 3-way tie with Baltimore and the Yankees. And this Baltimore team, again, Marco, at the beginning of the year, and I played a couple overs, win total, but they were at 77.5, and I know they probably exceeded expectations big time last year, but I didn't see how they were going to have that much of a drop-off. That was the one win total that I jumped on at 77.5, was to take the Orioles. I know you had some win totals, I'm sure, as well, but that one jumped out at me.
What made it tough with Baltimore last year is a lot of people are expecting a regression. One, simply because everybody's expecting so much out of Toronto this year with all of the signings that they had. And two, people can't help but go back and look at, remember that stretch with the one-run games with Baltimore last year and the extra innings?
That's true. They were uncanny.
They won, I think, what was it, like 17, 18 in a row or something like that?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
If they just go 500, which is normally what teams do in those situations, it changes their win total significantly, and I think that has a lot to do with why they brought it out so low.
Yeah, my thing, on the other hand, was Buck Showalter has instilled a winning clubhouse over there. He's got that attitude. They go out on the field. They think they can win every game, which is nice, and I really feel this team has a great chance to get into the postseason and do some damage. And although we looked at Toronto as making all those improvements, a lot of people also had the Yankees going down, and they also had the Red Sox in last place. So they had the Yankees and Red Sox basically battling for the cellar. A lot of people just had Toronto and Tampa ahead of everybody, and we see at the other end of the spectrum now. We see Baltimore, the Yankees, Boston atop, and Tampa Bay and Toronto really struggling.
Sidebar to you, which is a bigger surprise to you, that the Yankees were able to play as well as they did the first month of the season with all the injuries that they had, or Boston coming out of complete nowhere to have the record that they have?
Well, I played Boston in win total over as well. Boston's start, to me, when they got out 18-7, that was a surprise. I thought they'd do well, but I didn't think they'd do that well. But they've come back to the pack, and losing to Minnesota a couple of those games at home, and they've lost several at home now at Fenway. And but I got to give Girardi credit. I think he's doing his best managing work now, and when Teixeira comes back and Granderson comes back, and those are right around the corner. A-Rod, I really don't count that much, but Jeter, a nice boost in the arm too when they get him back. And again, for them to come through all those injuries, and if they can ever get a healthy Pineda, remember, I mean, that was a huge deal. When they got him, I thought, look out. This kid's in the prime. He's a young kid. He's going to bolster that staff. I got upset with Seattle for letting him go.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is your free pick. Let's make it official.
Let's do that, Marco. And Scott Diamond is the reason that I will be on the Minnesota Twins. Minnesota has done a nice job to elevate their record to 16-15. How about the AL Central? 4 teams over 500 now, only 3 over 500 in the powerful AL East. Diamond, 13 innings, just 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, not a lot of Ks, but only 1 walk in his last 13 innings. The 2 wins that I talked about over as being played as a big dog, a plus 160 and a plus 201, they win those games 6-1 and 6-2. I like the way the team's hitting. There's nobody that's stepping out that's being that guy, but Willingham got it going. Morneau, the other guys are getting it together. And like Marco said, averaging better than 5 runs a game in their last several outings. So I think if they get 4 or more in this game, Diamond's pitching well enough. He's in that zone that they'll be able to take care of business. And like we said, Chen in 10 1/3, struggling to get guys out. Not walking a lot, only 3 walks, 8 strikeouts in that 10 1/3, but still too many hits. Too many hits against this Minnesota team the way they're hitting right now. You're going to be in a lot of trouble with Diamond, the lefty, on the mound. And the Orioles only 5-5 against southpaws.
Yeah, and just to add one thing to Diamond, those last 2 starts, as good as they were, that was against Boston and Detroit. 2 powerful lineups that could score some runs.
No doubt.
So pretty impressive. All right, that's Ken's free pick. He says to take Minnesota with Diamond on the mound. And we're going to be right back next. I've got a free pick. We're going to go Sunday baseball. We're going to take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies at Arizona. That's up next on pregame.tv.